I'm not sure if I'm live. Am I live yet, Michelle? I think I'm live.
You are very live.
Do I look as if I'm live?
You do look as if you're alive.
Do I could? No, not if. I know I'm alive. Good morning, everyone. Yes. Why am I huffing and puffing and sighing? I haven't a clue why I'm huffing and puffing and sighing, because I'm not. I sound like my mother when I do that. Isn't that awful? When the older you get, it's like when you have children of your own, and all of a sudden you hear yourself saying something that you said you would never ever say to your kids because your mother always said it to you. That's a horrifying moment, isn't it? That first time you realise that you sound exactly like your mother, for good or for bad. It's a horrifying moment. Right. So, first of all, I'd like to say good morning to my spirit guide Gregor, who as always is standing to my right side. And also I'd like to say good morning to Michelle, who is actually sitting on the floor this morning. Surprise, surprise. How's your hip this morning, Michelle? I didn't ask you yet.
It has been rough the last couple days with the cold spell we've had.
Right. Yeah, it's all of 66 degrees.
Or I don't know, it was 70? Like 40 the other night.
Well, yes, but that's at night time. During the day, it's...
Oh, it's gorgeous.
But it's cold, and it's cold today too. Do we know what the temperature is today? I'm just really...
I will tell you in just a second.
I'm just really teasing all of you out there who are having to suffer snow and ice and all of that.
Today's
cold
high will be 70
weather, so it's going to be 70 degrees here. I don't know what it is Fahrenheit. I never can work it out. And I grew up with Fahrenheit anyway. Did I say I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit? It's 70 Fahrenheit. I don't know what it is in Celsius because I didn't grow up with it. I'm never going to learn it because I don't want to. So how about that? So hello everyone. We are on countdown now. You do know that, don't you? We are on countdown for Christmas. Yes?
Yay!
We're getting very excited here. I've got all of my ingredients out to make my marzipan. Yes, the cakes are getting their last feeding today, probably. Maybe I'll go one more at the weekend or something, or next weekend, or the middle of the week or something, before I actually then put the marzipan on. I'm not being very nice to Michelle. I did make this cake for Michelle and her family, really for Michelle for Christmas, and I'm going to put marzipan on it. I'm going to decorate the marzipan if I have the time to do it. Of course, I'll have to find the time to do it. So I'm going to make it look a little bit pretty, but I'm not putting any icing on because you're not that fond of icing anyway, are you, Michelle?
No.
So, and I love marzipan anyway, but I have to, of course, put icing on mine because that's the part that Reese enjoys the very most. I have a friend in England who makes her Christmas cake, and she puts marzipan on and then she puts chocolate on the top. It sounds horrendous to me, but all of you out there who love chocolate, I know you'll think, well, that's a really good idea. Anyway, sorry, what?
It does not sound good to me.
No, Michelle doesn't like chocolate, so, I'm rambling. Are you wanting me to stop? Are you wanting me to shut up? Are you wanting me to get to your questions? Well, let's go for it then, Michelle. But just remember, we are on countdown. We will be mentioning Christmas throughout the show for one reason or another.
Christmas, Christmas, Christmas.
I actually, before I go any further, did speak to Santa Claus yesterday because I asked Santa Claus if he could do something very special for my grandson, and all he told me to tell Reese was put a big X on the calendar for the 29th of December. I wonder what's going to happen on the 29th of December, and I shall tell you that probably on the 30th, or at least after the 29th, because, hey, Santa Claus has told me a little bit, but he's not filled me in completely, as Santa Clauses never do they? It's surprise, surprise, surprise. Anyway, moving on.
We can't talk about any of our surprises because my kids turn in to watch you when they get out of school.
I can't mention it because my daughter will be listening, and amazingly now Santa Claus does not usually get gifts for anyone but the kids, but amazingly it is a joint gift that Santa's giving to Reese and Samantha who knows what exciting things will happen on the 29th. See, I always think Christmas is a short, short holiday. Don't just celebrate the day, celebrate Christmas Eve, celebrate Christmas Day, celebrate the Boxing Day, and celebrate all that week between Christmas and New Year, because that's what makes it special for me. Let's go. Let's have a first question. Nobody wants to hear about my Christmas. Moving along, Michelle. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. You know when if of course you do decide, and you may have already thought this is one of those, I'm not going to replay this, but if you do replay it, the good news is that you can fast forward beyond all this nonsense that I'm talking about today. Over to Michelle. Let's go.
Audrey is on,
Good morning, Audrey.
and she says, "Hi, Rosemary.
Hi, darling.
When a person passes away, can they become an angel?"
No. Oh, would you like me to elaborate a little bit?
I would, because I would like to know what you're talking about.
You know, very often someone will come through from the spirit world. It might be a mother or a brother, sister, and often with children, and they will say to us, just remember, I'm your angel. What they're really meaning by that is that they are with you, they are by your side, they will help you, they will guide you, they will be, let's say the keepers of your heart or the keepers of your memory. So in that way, when we think of angels and we think of our loved ones in the spirit world, in that way, I suppose they somewhat do become angels. However, if you can understand that an angel is, well, I've seen many angels. I've been very fortunate to see many angels, but angels come in many different forms. Now, I've said no, we don't become angels, but we do have earth angels. We have those angels who come to this earth to teach us something, to help us, to guide us, to steer us. Earth angels are rare. They're very, very rare, but they do exist. And I'm trying to think, in one of my books, I can't remember which one. God, I'm really bad at this. I tell the story of Tomas, and Tomas is an earth angel. And that's all I'm going to tell you about the story of Tomas, because he is just the most incredible and beautiful being. When his mother called me, because she needed to know what Tomas needed, what did he like to eat? What did he like to do? What could she do for Tomas? Because Tomas is not able to speak for himself. I was amazed, because usually when I'm connecting with people in the spirit world, usually I will sometimes travel to them, or I will travel down and back and through the whole and travel the universe to discover about a person or about a person's life. That's all I'm telling you. You need to read the books to understand what it is I'm talking about. But unexpectedly, I was sitting on this sofa wondering and hoping that I was going to connect in some way with Tomas' family, or that if maybe I could reach Tomas in some way. And I sort of had my eyes closed. I was concentrating. Tomas' mother was on the phone, Claudia, and she was on the phone listening, and sort of half closed my eyes, and the next thing I could feel this brightness behind my eyes, and I opened my eyes, and there was the most incredible, beautiful, golden bright light, and right smack in the middle of this beautiful light was Tomas, one of the very first earth angels I've ever seen, or certainly had the privilege of speaking to. So if you want to know more about that story, can't remember which book it's in, but we'll look it up and we'll let you all know. So pay attention. We'll let you know on Facebook, or we'll maybe let you know next week. I'd get all the books if I were you, and then you'd be sure to find that story.
They're all good books.
They are. But an angel is an entity, a beautiful, pure and spiritual entity. An entity that works with God and for God alone. Now, we may think that we've got angels all around us helping us and guiding us, and in fact we do from time to time have those angels, But if we have those angels who are helping us and guiding us, it's because God has requested that they do so, not because we have requested. Angels are very special beings. They are beautiful and pure, light, filled with light, and they are an enlightened species, all of their own. So, no, we cannot become them once we die, but we can be sort of angels for our loved ones. I wrote a little book a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, called Angels in Training. And I wrote that with my daughter. And it's basically explaining how we can, in fact, help our angels, because angels have a big job, a tough job to do. And so, if we can help them in any way, if we can, sort of alleviate their burden in some way, then isn't that a good thing to do? So, so this little book, again, it's called Angels in Training. It gives us something to do. It sort of goes through 52 weeks of the year. So, at any given time, you can open that book and have a look and see how we can help our angels. By helping others, we can help our angels, etc., etc. By helping ourselves, we can help our angels. So angels is a huge, huge topic. I don't profess to be an expert, but having seen them, having talked to Greg about them a lot, and having met earth angels, the one who specifically comes to mind right now again is Thomas, and the things that he was able to tell me, the way that he was able to explain to me that he is an earth angel come to this earth for the purposes of showing love, giving, and teaching us some stuff. It's amazing. Let's have our next question.
Of course, you waited until I went to the other screen.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I was actually just putting Molly on our healing list.
Okay.
Molly says, I haven't been feeling well. I have 2 large cysts on my shoulder and 1 ruptured 3 weeks ago. Still having problems seeing the surgeon tomorrow and will be biopsied. That's not the end of it. She wants to know if her cysts are going to be okay. She's a breast cancer survivor and has had surgery for melanoma and different things, and she just wants to know if you feel that there's anything hurtful in there.
I don't see any issues. That I'm not God. I don't know it all. No matter what anyone tells you, mediums do not know all of the answers to all of the questions. However, Molly, please keep us informed of what's going on with you, and we will actually send you healing every day. I think you'll be fine. I have a feeling that you'll be fine. However, I think that a huge part of what is going on right now is much more about what's going on with your mind and the stress and the stress that you put yourself through. I think the anxieties that you feel about a variety of things. So I'm going to say that you should not necessarily, by all means, get your cysts sorted out, but try if you can work on you finding peace and harmony within you. And one of those ways to do that is to find a meditation tape that is good for you, that works for you. You all know that I have meditation CDs. I should stop calling them tapes. They are CDs. You all know that I have meditation CDs. You all know that, but some of you have your own favorites. So, it doesn't matter which one you use, as long as you use something. Well, I'm going to suggest that you try that and try and give yourself some peace and find some peace and harmony within you. My meditations, I talk you through what you need to do. I talk you through visualization techniques. They seem to work very, very well for people. We have, I think, Nettie, one of my students, actually just bought some, and she's loving every minute of it. But I think, Molly, aside from that, I think, settling your peace of mind, finding peace of mind is going to be very important for you. Next question.
Lori.
Yes. Good morning, Lori.
Actually has 2 questions.
All right, go ahead.
One is, she wants to know how Kachiro is doing.
He's in the corner. He's like little Jack Horner in the corner. He's he's doing well. Thank you for asking. He's old. He's 13 and going, he'll be 14 next year. We're almost upon the next year, aren't we? He's 13 and a half years old. He's old. I know the time is coming. Uh,
He's coming to visit me.
yes, well, he's hopefully over Christmas he's going to uh, be with Michelle. My friend Mary Lou always helps to take care of him also. So, you know, so so he's going to be well looked after when I'm not there. Apparently, I know this. Michelle's daughters want to totally take him over because they love him. Is that right, Michelle?
Absolutely. They
Now,
love having him.
Michelle has two other dogs, so we keep our fingers crossed that they all get on very well. But as I've said, he is an old boy, and most of all, his favourite thing to do is to either lie in the corner, especially when other people are around. But even when he's here with me, that's his. I don't know why, but it's his special place. He likes. It's like a little kennel for him, and of course he's behind the curtain, which he also likes. Or he likes to sort of lay by my side, but he doesn't do a great deal anymore. You know, he's an old dog. He sort of gets up. He has that 5 or 10 minutes of wagging his tail and excited and let me out and yeah, now let me come back in and where's my breakfast and then that's it. And it takes all of his effort and energy to do that, and then he's up again at dinner time. So yes. What was her second question?
Her second question says, I've been told that there is a special group of Christmas angels that start arriving for Christmas time specifically. Is that true?
It's a lovely idea. Sorry, it's a lovely idea. I don't think, I'm checking with Grey Eagle here. Yeah, I think that our angels come around us whenever it is we need them, whether it's Christmas, whether it's our birthday, whether it's New Year, certainly the time that we're born, and absolutely at the time of our passing. But of course, Christmas for all of us who are human, who are living on this earth playing Christmas, so we sort of kind of, it's a special time, isn't it? It's a time that we do think of angels. So maybe as we think of them, maybe they do draw close to us. Maybe they do that. And I think if that's what you believe, then that's what you should hold on to. Let's have a next question, shall we?
Okay, Deborah says, twice recently I have experienced sleep paralysis where I felt something crawl up my legs and into my chest. I could not move or breathe. It seemed like it lasted forever. Can this be explained?
Yeah, it's energy. It happens often to a lot of people. I must have gone off then for a minute. My daughter's calling. You would think that she would know, wouldn't you, by now? But no. Now, a lot of people have their out of body experiences, and most of us leave our body during our sleep state, is when we sort of drift out and what have you. And many of us will have out of body experiences at that point. The majority of us, though, do not remember. But it's the soul's way of exploring, of going out and about and visiting. I mean, I've done it very often when I've been visiting with my patients. People, visit their families or their loved ones in the spirit world. It's a very common thing to do. As I've said, most of us are not conscious or, not even slightly aware that we are doing it. However, when we're sort of, coming back in, or if we're actually, when we're leaving or when we're coming back in, but usually it's when we're coming back in, we might be sort of in that half awake, half asleep state, and we might have a sensation of something going on with our body. Sort of, it's almost as if we're being, our body's being filled up. And it's the energy, it's our spirit that is settling back into the physical self. It's nothing to worry about. It's nothing that is harmful to you in any way, and it happens to all of us. Just that most of us are not conscious or not consciously aware of it when it is happening. It can, if you become more aware, it can be quite scary. I know I've scared myself a time or two. having this happen to me, but knowing what it is and knowing what is happening, it's a perfectly natural phenomenon. It's something that happens to all of us. So, darling, don't worry too much. I hope that explanation helps you.
Kitty is on,
Morning, Kitty.
and she says, in a reading, which I mean, think she means a
I
consultation,
think she does, but yes, Kitty, we know what you mean, darling.
can emotions be so intense that the spirit person can be overcome by deep feelings?
Of course. Oh, yes. I mean, very often I'll talk to people in the spirit world. They're already emotional anyway, because the idea of finally getting to talk to us, finally, being able to express themselves, finally being heard, it's sort of like, wow, finally someone can see me and someone can hear me and relay my messages. It's an emotional thing to do. It's not so much that they are affected by our emotions. It's that, they have their own emotions and their own feelings. So yes, of course. But isn't emotion is not a bad thing, it's a good thing. And expressing your emotions is a really very, very good thing. It tells us how sensitive we are and how much aware we are. And the more sensitive you are, the more connected you can be. So never, ever, ever worry about the emotions, Kitty. Do we have another question?
Yes, we actually have several.
Let's keep going then.
Christina is on,
Morning, Christina.
and she would like to know, is it ever too early for a loved one for a consultation if they have just passed? Is there a time where we should wait to talk to them?
No. I do know why, Christina, why you're asking this, because so many people who do this work will say to you, "Oh, you got to give it 6 months, or you got to give it a year, or what have you." People in the spirit world can communicate like within seconds. I've communicated with people who have not even left their body yet, but are sort of half out, and I'll maybe tell you that story another time. But maybe that's a healing story that I should tell. But uh, it can be hard for some people to communicate through a medium because of the emotion. It can be hard for them because they're not sure what to do. It can be hard for them for a variety of reasons. And it can be hard for someone who's been over for 10 years or 20 years or 2 years or 2 days, depending on the person, depending on the personality of the person. Some people are so raring to go, the minute they've left and they see that they're still alive, they just, let's go, let's get in there, let's do this. And their enthusiasm is what helps them to be firm communicators. So no, it's not about the time, it's about the energy.
Sharon.
Morning, Sharon.
Said, you've said our loved ones are our guides, but can we have guides that, somebody just commented and it rolled me up, hold on, can we have guides who aren't related to us, and how is the distinction made as to who will guide us?
It depends who you are, it depends what work you do. People who work, for instance, as healers will perhaps have someone in their family or a friend or someone. It may be someone that we don't even know. It might be a generation or two past. We've never heard of this person. For whatever reason, sometimes a great grandmother will come to visit, and a baby's just been born, and they think, oh yeah, I want to be around that little girl for a while. They just, the energy is a connection. It's all about whether energy connects with energy. So it might be someone in the spirit world who is a family or friend who certainly has that strong connection of energy, and for whatever reason they decide that they would like to guide and help you. Of course, whether you listen or not is a whole other matter. But unless you are working as a spiritual medium, as a healer, or as in some way or form on a spiritual path on a daily basis and working and needing knowledge and understanding, a spirit guide will not, a spirit guide is a highly evolved spiritual entity. They will not uh, want to waste their time and their energy on someone who isn't listening on a daily basis or isn't paying attention on a daily basis. So much nonsense is talked about spirit guides, and I've been into spiritualist churches where I've heard the medium say to almost everyone in the congregation, and your spirit guide is a so and so, and I can see a Native American with you, and you've got a nun with you, and they dish them out like they're candies. That's not how it works. That is not my understanding of how it works. Let me just say that. And just remember, I might sort of be good at what I do. I might know a lot about what I'm talking about, but it doesn't mean I'm all knowing and all seeing. So, so you have to, every time someone tells you something, just listen, pay attention. If it makes sense, embrace it. If it doesn't make sense or you don't want to hear it, don't hear it then. Make up your own mind about things, but listen to your own soul, listen to what is going on within you, and listen to how what your soul is saying to you and how it speaks to you, because that will tell you the real truth. Michelle.
The next one is from Deborah.
Morning, Deborah.
It says, when do our loved ones reincarnate? And if they do, is that why they don't come through?
Sorry,
I know you pulled your back.
My back is really bad today. Let me just wriggle a minute. Deborah, I love the question. However, I think I've beaten reincarnation to death. So as much as I love the fact that you've asked the question, I'm going to say, if you do want to know more about that, go back in some of these shows and see. Some of us reincarnate, some of us do not. And that's as much as I can say about it now, because I think I've beaten the subject to death over the last few months. And so please go back and take a look and see what I've said before. Next question.
Kevin is on.
Good morning, Kevin.
And he says, aloha, Rosemary and Michelle. I loaned my Eagle in the Rose CD set
No, you didn't. No, never give it away.
To an 80-year-old female friend here in Kauai.
Oh, good.
The CD set was perfect for her.
Oh, lovely. That's lovely. Wow, that's very nice. I'm very pleased. Well, I'm going to do something nice for you because you did something nice with that old lady. If you'd like to pay the postage and packaging, we'll send you another one. How's that? She can have one, you can have the other one. It's up to you. Don't have to do it, but you do have to pay the postage and packaging because, we can't, and we can't do it for everyone. So there you are, Kevin. And look, another prize you won. How about that? So you need to email Michelle, and she will tell you how much you have to pay us for the postage and packaging. I don't know how much it's going to be, and we'll send you the set. Yes. Next question.
Dean says he's trying the show on a different browser, but it still keeps stopping. All
Dean,
the other YouTube stuff works fine.
Dean.
It's him.
Listen, Dean. Michelle thinks it's you. I don't know. I'm not technical. My advice to you is to get someone who's technical in to check it out. That would be the only thing I can tell you now. If all the other YouTube channels work, this is a YouTube channel. It should work the same. Moving on. We've beaten that one to death as well, Dean. Moving on.
Mary would like to know, is there any advice for her from Gray Eagle or her loved ones in the spirit world? Apparently I can't talk today, so just bear with me, guys.
Good morning, Mary. Well, it depends what you want advice on, doesn't it? So you've got to be a bit more specific. So moving to the next person, you can write in and tell us, be a little bit more specific, Mary. We'll have a look. Yes, next question. I'm being very brutal today, aren't I?
Okay,
So then, okay, let's go. Moving on.
Denise is on.
Good morning, Denise.
And she's asking if Gray Eagle can please tell her dad that she feels him and that she loves him.
No. Oh, I am being brutal. Denise. Here's the thing. Your father can hear you. He can see you. You don't need Greg or anyone else to tell him anything. You tell him, he hears you, he embraces you, he loves you. Trust in him and trust in you. uh, Greg will put his hand on my shoulder, and that your message is already winging its way where it needs to be. So your dad has already heard. So there you are. Uh, I do love that you've asked, but please understand that you have the power. You own the power to do this all for yourself. Let's have another question.
Kevin said thank you. He was compelled to loan her the set that
I
she is not well and she's been given 6 months to live.
oh
And he
okay.
gave us her name, so I'm going to add her to
We'll
the
put her
list.
on our healing list, Kevin, without doubt. But yes, I'm so glad that you had the meditation. He's talking about the meditation CDs, I think, right? Is that what right?
I think they got A Journey Towards Healing. I think that was the one that they got.
But didn't you say a set of? I don't know. Kevin, let me
We
know
gave
what
him the
you,
Eagle and the Rose too.
let me know what you got, and we'll figure something out. Because there's a set of 4 CDs, and then of course there's the conversation with Bob, which I was talking to Michelle about earlier on. Because that is something else. My daughter says it's the best NPR radio interview she's ever heard. Not that it was an NPR radio interview, but she said it sounded just like it because I'm going to tell that story next Wednesday. I'm going to tell the story of Bob next Wednesday. You'll like it. It's a funny story. But I did have a conversation with Bob. It is on CD and it is brilliant to listen to. He had a terminal cancer, brain tumor, smart guy, funny guy, and basically I asked him, what would you say to people who are in this same situation, or what would you say to people who have a loved one in this situation? So that's a fabulous CD too. I'll tell you that story next Wednesday, right? Remind me I'm telling the story of Bob.
Oh.
Okay, let's have another question.
Okay, the next one is Susan would like to know if there's any
Good morning,
questions or
Susan.
any messages from Mary.
Sorry, what?
Susan would like to know if there are any messages from Mary.
Not today. Moving on.
Is next Wednesday the 11th?
I don't know. Michelle is having to scribble and write, and that's fine.
Making notes.
We can wait for you.
Lori.
Yes, Laurie.
Is there a reason why you may feel that spirits are regular sized like us, and why some may seem 15 feet tall?
What?
She wants to know if there's
What?
a reason that spirit, like you may feel a spirit as different sized. It would, like, some may be the same size as us, but some may feel bigger.
Like looming almost.
It'd be like giant.
Energy. It's all about energy. Now, sometimes I will give you a little insight then to this. Sometimes when you're looking and you're looking for someone in the spirit world, as I do, you might be looking at them, sort of seeing them a little bit. You know how when you look through a telescope, if you look through one end, it gives you distance, but you see whatever it is you're looking at, you see it as a teeny thing, right? Because you're seeing it in the distance, so it looks not much more than a dot. But then when you look at the other end, you see them close up. So sometimes when you're looking, and you might see someone from a distance, so you might see them smaller than you thought they were going to be. They're actually not that size. It's just that you're looking at a distance, that, you know, the way that we're looking and the way that we're able to project our sight, our ability to see is, you know, it's different. And it's a bit like listening to someone from far away. Sometimes you'll hear someone in the spirit world and you'll hear them as if they're far away, and it isn't that they're, you know, sort of far away. It's just the way that you are listening is you sort of, they, you know, there is a distance between us. And sometimes they are so close as it's almost as if they're crowding us. And sometimes if we might feel that they're sort of giant size. Of course, they're not giant size. It's just that their energy in that one moment that we're feeling that or seeing that or aware of that in that one moment, their energy is so powerful and so positive that it's sort of the energy of the person is overwhelming, and it's almost as if they're towering over us. And it's that just that their energy in that one moment is very, very powerful and very positive. It's not the size of the person. I hope that makes some sense to you. Uh, anyway, I can see we do need these seminars, don't we? We do need these teaching sessions so that I can, because on this show we've got all of less than a minute to talk to each person and to try to answer the questions quickly, so we can get as many people in as we can. But having seminars is sort of, it takes longer. We have more time to go into things in more detail. If you do, by the way, as I'm thinking about that, if you are interested in going to one of our online seminars, please email us. And again, if you want to be on the mailing list, you have to request it. We don't automatically put you on there. And if you are interested in the online conferences, let's call them, then just put that in the subject line, and then we'll put you on the list. And then when we have organised it, we'll send out to you, and we'll send out what it is we're doing. But if you request to be put on the mailing list, of course you're going to get notifications when and where and what it is that we're actually doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Yes, Michelle, next one please.
Denise said that she knows and she's sorry that she just needed that today. The great message.
I know, and you got it. And I hope it helps you, my love. I hope it makes you feel better. Christina, yes?
When our loved ones pass away, even if it is unexpected, are they still welcomed by the loved ones that have been gone for a while now?
Well, here's the thing. It might be unexpected by those of us who are on this earth plane, but it's definitely not unexpected from those in the spirit world. What we think of as accidents, freak accidents, or massive heart attacks, sudden and no warning whatsoever, there's a time to be born and there's a time to die. So no matter how unexpected it may seem, and often, somebody can be murdered or somebody can, as I've said, have a heart attack and just go straight away. Somebody can be killed in an accident. There are a variety of ways to go suddenly and shockingly for those of us who are left behind with no warning and sort of wondering what on earth happened, and and it's confusing to us, but it's already known in the spirit world. For those of you who did not listen to the story yesterday, we did our Hands Around the World healing session yesterday afternoon. And the story that I told was about finding a needle in a haystack. And at the end of that story, it should have been very clear to everyone. And if it wasn't very clear to everyone, I actually reiterated the fact that those in the spirit world see us. We might try to hide. We might try to avoid. We might think that we're lost and nobody cares about us. But from the story that I told yesterday, it's very obvious and it's very apparent that they, how would someone in the spirit world know that you were going to be in a theatre at that moment, in that one particular seat, in amongst thousands, 5,000 people? How would those in the spirit world know that, in a crowd of 5,000 people, they would be able to pinpoint you specifically? And the story is about finding that needle in that haystack, and the story demonstrates exactly how that was, how that happened. It doesn't say how it was done, but it certainly describes how that happened in Italy, in amongst 5,000 people, written about through all of Italy by hardened, toughened journalists who perhaps didn't believe before they came in, but certainly believed afterwards, made international headlines in the newspapers, I might add, for all of those doubters and for all of those people who say, well, I think it's nonsense. How can you find that needle in the haystack? um, and it's because God sees all. None of us goes unrecognized, even no matter how much we try to hide. None of us goes unrecognized. We are all seen. We are all there. We are all very obvious to our loved ones in the spirit world, and also to God. And they know things and are often there before we're there. They know what we're going to encounter throughout the day. Very often, they're waiting very often with open arms when yes, when we go unexpectedly and suddenly, and but no, it's a plan. It's it's that great big plan that we don't understand. So there's no such thing as an accident, I believe, and there's no such thing as the unexpected. As far as those in the spirit world are concerned, there is no such thing as the unexpected. It's all a plan, and we're privy to it sometimes, and sometimes we're not. But don't ever doubt that there are those in the spirit world waiting for us, no matter what way we go, and no matter how much warning or not we get prior to our passing. Yes.
Deborah is on,
Yes.
and she says,
Morning,
my
Deborah.
ex-husband passed away very young at 38. I'm worried about my son and any genetic condition with heart issues. So far, he has checked out okay, but does his father look out for him and will he remain healthy?
Um, I do have Greg's hand on my shoulder as I'm speaking to you. Um, I can totally understand the worry, but you've obviously got him checked out. I would say that his diet is extremely important. So but very often heart disease it's a genetic thing, and it can happen without us even being aware. So just pay attention. I think he's fine. Yes, I think his father is. In fact, I don't think it. I know it. Greg was correcting me, so I absolutely know that his father is taking care of him, my darling, and that watching over him. Um, but as with anyone else, just pay attention. Let's go to our next question
Violet is on.
or comment. Good morning, my darling. Yes, I didn't. It's all very well saying yes, you're coming soon. Yeah, but what does that mean? What does it all mean? I'm coming soon. What does that mean to me? I'm coming soon. Anyway, yes.
She says, hi, Rosemary and Michelle. Do angels have souls? And if so, are they made up of the same five energies as our souls, or are they made of something else?
Oh golly, that's oh jeez, my goodness me. Uh, they are souls, as we all are souls. I think we have to understand that we are spiritual beings, as Teilhard, whatever his name is, the Jardan. I always get tongue tied when I say his name. Teilhard de Jardan. Yeah, him anyway. He will say we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and so a lot of us think of ourselves naturally because we are human beings. We think of ourselves as human beings with a soul. In fact, what we are is a soul within a human form. Don't get it confused now. I'll say it again. We do believe that we are human beings with a soul somewhere there in there. But we are not. We are souls, all of us souls having this human experience. I like to add to that quote by saying, and hopefully having it, we are spiritual beings having a human experience in a spiritual way. Certainly I am, try my best to be anyway. But yeah, you're asking, do angels have souls? You misunderstand. Angels are souls. We are souls. And yes, and those energies, those same types of elemental energies, this do surround us. We are, as I was trying to explain to someone the other day, if you have read soul signs, and Violet, come on, I know you have. Somewhere in there, it does talk about soul clusters, and very much like star clusters. So, okay, if you look at the night sky, you see, I don't know, the Seven Sisters, you see the Milky Way, you see Orion, you see all of these different clusters of stars. We name them certain things. The astronomers will tell us they are clusters, certain clusters of souls, which they cluster together to create a certain form or a certain shape. Well, everyone who is connected with this earth plane, is part of a human soul cluster, an earth cluster. So we are an earth cluster, sort of staying together, connecting with each other, and that applies to those angels who are with us and who are guiding us and so on and so forth. So we're all part and parcel of the same energy. And that's what I'm saying. I don't want to get too, we could go on and on. Again, it's a subject for one of our online conferences or online seminars. So if you have questions that I'm not answering and you think it would be good to have a seminar, then knock yourselves out, let us know, because we're always keen to have to have suggestions. I hope, Violet, that helps you, my lovely. Right, next question.
She said thank you.
You're welcome.
Susan would like to know,
Yes, Susan.
does my daughter see spirits? She's 20 years old and has always slept with the lights on.
I'd need to know much more about your daughter. I'm not going to make that, I'm not going to make that declaration. I don't know your daughter. She could just be simply afraid of the dark, but it is very possible that she has a sense or a sensitivity that there is something else beyond our human existence, and she would be absolutely right, wouldn't she, in that. That sensitivity can lead us to be afraid, and we don't always know what it is we are afraid of. If you have someone in your area who is good, or if you know of a medium or someone who is really, really good and has a really good reputation, you might want to suggest to your daughter, she's 20 years old, so she's an adult, she can make up her own mind about things, but you may want to suggest that she talks to someone about that. Here is the problem. The problem is that if you don't find someone who's really good or honest or who has integrity, and that's the hardest part, to find someone who has integrity, believe it or not. It, it it's difficult because you could be led up the garden path, you could be led astray by it. It's sort of a little bit like the blind leading the blind. So be careful who you do listen to, and do be careful who you take advice from. And I would say that to any one of you who have a question about your own selves or your own abilities and so on, take it a tiny baby step at a time. But I do believe that she's sensitive, so take it, move on a little bit from there. Yes, let's have another question.
Kevin said it was the Eagle and the Rose CDs. Or CD.
Oh, okay.
The Eagle and the Rose pack that he loaned out.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Lori said thank you for answering her question that Dean wanted to know too, but he keeps throwing her under the bus.
What? But what? Oh, Dean. Did you get her to ask the question you didn't want to ask? Really? Come on. Yes.
Molly said, Rosemary and Michelle, may you and your families have a very Merry Christmas and a happy, blessed New Year.
Oh, thank you. And it's Christmas. Da 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 da. I don't know what that song is or the music. What is my favorite? Oh, this is something that I'd love to hear from everybody. What is your favorite song for Christmas? Now I can tell you what my grandson's favorite song is. My grandson's favorite song is that it drives me crazy, and it's his favorite song because it's his mum loves it, and all I want for Christmas, something like that. What is that? It's like sung by some pop star girl.
All I want for Christmas is you.
Is you. And you, yes. So he loves that one. But I do have a favorite. Do you have a favorite, Michelle?
I have a favorite.
What is it?
Actually, all three of us girls have favorites, but they're all different.
Okay, go ahead.
So Gwendolyn's is that she loves the "I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas" song.
Okay.
I can't stand it.
I don't
The
even.
little girl
I don't
that sings
even.
it
I
is
don't
so
even
nasally.
know that one.
I like it when it's sung by somebody else. But she likes the original.
Okay.
Addison, though, she loves the it's a real old like Christian. I don't remember what the I don't
Whatever.
remember what it is.
We don't have time for this.
Mine is "Baby It's Cold Outside." Every year I will listen to that song and listen to that song, and I know it's not actually a Christmas song, but it's
Right.
still my favorite
Well,
Christmas song.
I've got a two because I love Christmas carols and I love to go into a church and blast it out because if you go into a church with enough people, I have a very strong voice, and so you can hear me above everybody else. My daughter, when she was little, would be embarrassed by that when her friends would poke her in the side and say, "Your mom's here," because they could hear me singing these Christmas carols. But my very favourite Christmas carol is "O Come All Ye Faithful," and because I love it. And my favourite sort of, I guess, jazz Christmas is Eartha Kitt singing "Santa Baby." Do you know that one?
I do. I know
Santa
it very
baby,
well.
dee 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 dee. Why don't you write into us and see
They
what
have been listing
yeah.
them as we've been talking.
So, oh right. Write in and we'll mention you and we'll mention your favorite Christmas carol on our Christmas show, which will be not next week but the week after, I do believe, right? Or the next week after that even. I'm not sure
I don't know.
where
We
are.
have to plan that because
We got to plan because yes, we have to plan the Christmas show. But anyway, we'd love to hear what your favorite Christmas carol is. And for those of you who don't know what "O Come All You Faithful" sounds like, you can Google it.
I'll ask Addison again and have her tell me.
I can.
Because hers is one of those. It's
Yeah.
like the real old big Christmas carol.
Yeah, but I love to go into a church, especially one with high vaulted ceilings. I love to go to Christmas services and I love to sing Christmas carols. The only tiny issue I have with doing this in America is that American Christmas carols are often sung to different tunes than I know of.
Mm-hmm.
But I also love the Lord's Prayer, but it's a version that is very rarely heard. I'll sing a little bit of it for you, just because it's getting to be Christmas. I'll sing, "Our Father God," have you heard that one?
Mm-hmm.
"Who art in heaven, all hallowed be thy name." Want a little bit more?
Yeah.
"Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth and heaven the same." I love that song. And next week I'll sing you the next part of the verse. How about that? All right, let's have another question.
We actually still have a couple questions in here.
What?
But we got Christmas caroling.
Okay, and comments, of course. You know, we would love your comments.
Well, let's get through these questions and then I'll start letting you know what all the different
Go for it.
comments are.
All right.
So, Twiggy would like to know,
Yes, Twiggy.
are there other types of entities besides the angel type and the human type?
Yes.
Are you going to go into...
No.
Okay. Okay. Just figured I'd ask.
Well, I mean, you know, there are God's creatures, little animals, you know, birds, bees, butterflies. I go on and on. I know that's not what she meant, but that's what you're getting right now. Next question.
Deborah would like to know if night terrors that children have are actually out-of-body experiences for them.
Deborah, that's a really good question. Sometimes night terrors are those, yes, definitely. sort of going in and out, because children sort of are very much more sensitive and very much more aware of this stuff. But it, also it could be something that happened during the day that's especially, around Halloween, or if or kids are listening in on a ghost story or something. I used to tell my daughter and her friends the story of Aggie McNelly. And Aggie McNelly, sorry, Aggie McNelly used to live in the woods in our garden. Our garden had lots of woods and trees and so on and so forth. It was a beautiful garden in England, and so there's an age where kids love ghost stories. So I made up the story of Aggie McNelly, and Aggie McNelly became for quite some time quite a big part of our lives, because Samantha couldn't at that point distinguish the sort of the reality from the imagination. So it was because Aggie McNelly was really nice, she was really good, but she was also a bit spooky. Why am I telling you this story? Oh, I don't know.
But now you got to tell us.
But well, it's just different. I just used to tell different stories about Aggie McNelly, who lived in the woods in the garden, and she was an old lady, but she used to watch over the kids and so on and so forth. But anyway, why I thought about Aggie McNelly after, and why I would call her Aggie McNelly, I've no idea. But anyway, that's who she was, and so it could simply be just something that kids have been playing, or they've been watching something on TV, or so some of our experiences in nighttime experiences have to do with that, the worries or the the anxieties that we have during the day, and they manifest in our sleep state. But there are times, absolutely, when kids go in and out just like the rest of us do, and they're more sensitive and they're more aware, but they usually also more adapt at once it's been explained. They're fine about it, they're calm about it. I talk to my grandson about these things. I don't push it, I don't bring it up unless he brings it up. They lost their little puppy last week, and he's already asking me, will I show him how to listen and to see Piper. He sent a letter to Santa. He wanted to send a letter to Santa Claus to say, I don't want any toys this Christmas, Santa. Can I just have my Piper? Which just shows just how lovely a little boy he is. Of course, he's going to get toys, but I am, when I get them, going to show him how to listen and how perhaps to see. I shan't push it. I like kids to come into these things in their own time. So if you're thinking, that maybe your kid is sensitive or what have you, do please take it easily, steadily. They'll ask you when they're ready, and if they don't ask you, it's because they're not ready. Let's have a next question.
Okay, now we get to talk about fun stuff.
All right, go ahead then. I'm sorry to be. I'm wriggling because I'm sitting. I've got a cushion behind me. My shirt keeps wriggling. My back is. Listen to me. I'm just what a moaner and a groaner I am this morning. I'm not really. I'm fine actually. Go ahead. Let's go for the fun stuff.
Okay, so favorite Christmas songs.
Okay.
Deborah's got Jingle Bell Rock. Sharon's got Man with the Bag. I don't think I've ever heard that one.
I don't know that one.
Audrey has Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Oh yeah, that's a funny one.
Twiggy says she likes Oh Holy Night.
Me too.
But she also really likes Kay Thompson's Jingle Bells.
Oh Holy Night. Da, 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 da. I think that's the one she means, right?
Mm-hmm. Susan said that she loves The Drummer Boy.
Me too.
Mine is Mary Did You Know?
Oh, right.
Lori is Silent Night and Ave Maria.
Me too.
Dean, and then there's Dean. Dean says song, are we talking about vocals? Because his favorite is the winter scene from Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker.
Me too. Beautiful, fantastic. Good choice, Dean.
Molly said hers is Silent Night.
Yeah, me. I like it too. All of my favorites are coming up here. Brilliant. But does anybody know, right, when Santa got stuck up the chimney? Do you know that one?
Mm-mm.
He began to shout, you girls and boys won't get any toys if you don't pull me out. My beard is black, there's soot in my sack. My nose is tickling too when Santa got stuck up the chimney. Achoo, achoo, achoo.
No, I've never heard that.
There you are, you can play that to your kids. Or you can learn and sing it to your kids. You've never heard that one?
No, I've never heard that.
That's a very British thing that I always say to when I get there, we're going to be singing all this stuff with my grandson and my daughter, yeah.
Sharon said that she's Jewish, but she still loves Christmas carols.
Of course.
Molly says you have a great voice. Deborah says you have a great voice.
Thank you.
Dean said that for vocal favorites, it depends on the arrangement.
Well, I hope it's going to be me now, Dean. I'm going to be your vocal favorite. Go ahead.
Deborah had a follow-up from her question
Okay.
about the night terrors. She said she's speaking of those that last a while and the child cannot be awakened from.
Well, you shouldn't just, when that occurs, you just need to scoop up the child, put your arms around the child and start the healing process. Stroking gently, calming, making your energy, don't try waking the child up, please, because it's the worst thing, but slowly calm and gentle the child and give the child healing. Just hold him or her tight and let your good healing energy flow around them, and eventually they'll come out of it.
Okay, Mary said the Lord's Prayer Christmas Carol sounds beautiful. Thank you for singing it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Happy Advent and Happy Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then Randy's got a question, and it says, do you ever make contact with the spirits in the dreams? I've always found the experiences of seeing dead people in my dreams feels almost real. Like I can smell, feel, and hear them much better.
Randy, I'm so glad you're here, first of all, so hello. And you're absolutely right. It is real. People ask me, what is the difference between a dream, just a regular dream, and being able to visit or to see people in the spirit world in your dream state? And you can tell when it's real, because when you wake up, you think straight away to yourself, that felt so real, but it's only a dream. But it felt so real. Yeah, but it's only a dream, but it felt so real. And when you keep saying that, that is your soul trying to speak to you, trying to say to you, but it was real. So please, Randy, go with those feelings, because you're absolutely right. They are a reality. Lucky you. Yes.
And then Lori says, I guess what Santa's going to be doing on the 29th now. She's very wrong. It's not going to be singing Christmas carols, Lori.
No, absolutely not. No. No.
Randy
Good
said
guess, but no.
that your hair is looking fabulous today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And Violet wants to know if you've been at the Sherry.
Not yet. But that's such a good idea. I do love Harvey's Bristol Cream sherry. It's a very British thing, I know, but it's the smoothest and the most delicious. I cannot remember. Yes, I can probably remember. The last time I drank sherry was last Christmas, because I always put sherry in my Christmas trifle, and because I make the best trifle. Maybe I'll make one for you, Michelle.
Woohoo! I like it when you make me food.
Do you like? I'll make you a trifle, but it's potent. But it's really, really delicious. But I use sherry in that, and it's last Christmas, so maybe tonight, in honor of you mentioning that to me, Violet, I shall have a sherry, because I do like it.
Lori wants to know if you're getting Reese a puppy.
Oh gosh, no. No. Look, they lost their puppy, and there's this little puppy, I think most people don't understand. I got some out of this little puppy. Actually, she got it on Christmas Day. I got her this Christmas puppy when she was very, very sick. and she was in a deep depression. She'd had 3 surgeries all in a row, and as most of you know, anesthetic can create horrible stuff that goes on with you, and it can create also a serious depression in people. It can have really adverse effects, and so she was really, really sick and really down. And there was only one thing I could think to do for her. So I called her husband and said, "This is what I want to do," because I would never do it without, both people uh, accepting. Everybody in the family's got to be accepting of the puppy before you get a puppy or a cat or anything, in my opinion. And and he said yes. So I went ahead and spoke to my darling, fantastic breeder and trainer, Fred Bradley, and we got Piper for Samantha. And she was a healer dog specifically for Samantha. They formed an incredibly close bond, and it did in fact really help to heal Samantha and to get her out of that depression, because she then had someone else, some little thing to focus on other than herself and her own worries and her own fears. I gave her Piper, and Piper took up all her attention. 14 years later, you don't replace, not in my opinion, you never can replace the one you lost, and certainly it would be, a, you know, no, absolutely no, absolutely not the thing for me to do. She may never get another puppy, but if she does, it's going to be a little while before she thinks about it. Be careful, all of you out there who think that, because sometimes the space, the emptiness. Reese and Samantha walked into the apartment the other day, and Reese said, "Mama, it doesn't feel like home without Piper." Samantha called me yesterday, and she said, I keep looking for Pi. Be careful, because that space that they occupy, and Piper was not a big dog, but the space that they occupy, no matter large or small, it feels empty and it feels lonely. But that is, in my opinion only, I'm just saying, my opinion only, that is no reason to rush out and you know try to fill that space. And I think a lot of people make the mistake of maybe doing this too soon and not paying attention, and perhaps ending up with a puppy that you don't really have a connection with. So please do be careful. And all of you out there who are thinking of buying a pet for your kids or your grandkids for Christmas, just be very careful and make sure that it's really what you want and it's what the whole family want, because a pet is a massive commitment, massive commitment. And at the end of the day, part of that commitment is making the decision to say, it's time's up. So be careful, take it seriously. That's
Do you know what today is?
No, what's
Today is the 1 year anniversary of when I picked up my puppies.
Oh, is it? All right. So there you are. Well, that's good. Do we have anything else going on here? Anything else? Anyone else want to say anything?
It's just a great story. Laura said it took her over a year after her little whiskey died. And I think everybody says that they like your song. Your Santa Got Stuck song.
Yeah, you see, because you can replay it, you can actually learn this, and then when you sit with your kids or your grandkids, you can surprise them with this song. I'm sure that the Britishers out there listening have heard this song before, because, hey, it is a British song after all. But, things like that are lovely and joyful. So we are going to close today, not with me singing, as much as I
think we should.
Love to. You do?
I think we should.
Really?
Yes. I just tickled myself pink. Sorry.
I will sing you the rest of the song. When in temptation lead us not. I'm singing very softly. When temptation leads not. I can't think of the rest of it. I'm blank.
It's okay.
You've
been singing all morning.
And that is it. We're now going to leave you all. Please, please, please send us in all of your favourite Christmas songs. If you would like to be mentioned on our Christmas show, send us in your name prior to. If you've got a story to tell us, let us know. A Christmas story. We'll pick out the best 2 or 3 and we'll tell those as well. How about that? So do that in the next week. If you want to be on our mailing list, please, you need to request it. We will not automatically put you on there. So if you want healing, please request healing. If you would like to put someone else on the healing list, that's also fine. If you want to know more about the new book, whatever that is, A Walk in the Clouds, it's a great book. You can find out more about that. Again, email. If you want to be put on our list for when we do our online conferences, again, let us know. We'll put you on the list. And again, just if you want to know more about us or what's going on, if you go on the mailing list, you'll get notifications, maybe 4 or 5 a month, right?
Yeah, not many.
Not many. We normally
do it 1 a week.
We will not inundate you with stuff like that, so please don't be afraid of that. And in the meantime, I shall see my class tonight. Boy, you better be on it. You better have been practicing. I want to know all of the good stuff. I'm so looking forward to that, because we didn't have a class last week because it was Thanksgiving. And for those of you who want to see more of me this week, you will find tomorrow, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to know more about the story I told you about the needle in the haystack, you'll find that on YouTube. It will be under Healing Hands Around the World or something, whatever that is that we put. It's that
Healing Hands and then the date, because it won't let me put all of it in there.
Okay, so it's Healing Hands and it was from yesterday. If you want to hear more healing stories, again, YouTube, go on YouTube. You can check us out there. And you can be a part of that. So please, if you would like a mention, if you want to tell us a story, just let me say, those of you who write 6 pages, we're not going to read the story. So, a brief story, 3 or 4 paragraphs max, tell a Christmas story. We should be telling those over the next 2 or 3 weeks until it's Christmas Day, and I'm so excited. It's Christmas is coming. Children make Christmas, don't they? But please be nice, please be kind, please be thoughtful, please be all of those things that we want to be all of the year, but especially so around the Christmas holidays. And I will see you all again next week. Next Wednesday we should be doing our Healing Hands Around the World again, and
we're going to be telling the story of Bob.
We should be telling the story of Bob next Wednesday. I love Bob. Anyway, and it's a great story, and you'll find out how I actually the nurses found me in bed with Bob in the hospital. That was a little teaser right there. So if you want to know more about that, tune in on Wednesday, or you can follow up with YouTube whenever you are able to. And in the meantime, until I see you again, whenever that might be, please have a very blessed rest of the day, and have a fabulous and a wonderful and a blessed weekend, everyone. I now have to figure out how to turn this off, because is it the top one?
Yes.
See, my finger comes up there, looming up there. There we are. And I want to put my glasses on for this thing. I don't even know if we're still live.
We are still live.
We do want to end. Bye, everyone.